In India, there are two Jewish communities, each with a long and glorious history. The Cochin Jews in the southwest and the Bnei Israel in the north.
My name is Samson Kehinkar. I came from Bombay, India in 1976.
Outsiders discovered the Bnei Israel in the 17th and 18th centuries. Some say they are the descendants of the lost tribes who were exiled from the land of Israel in the 8th century BCE. Others ascribe their ancestry to Samaritans that migrated to India. According to legend, they arrived by sea.
All the youngsters from Bombay, they came to Israel. Because it is our country. India is our mother country, motherland, and this is our fatherland.
When they came to Israel, they were dispersed among villages and development towns throughout the country. Samson Kehinkar lives in Ashdod and performs all over Israel. They brought typical Indian instruments with them. One very special instrument is the ancient bulbul tarang, the musical bird, which is very difficult to play. Jaka, an accomplished musician, spent 8 years of his childhood studying this instrument with a master teacher. Another typically Indian instrument is the tabla. We invited the musicians to Jerusalem for a special performance, providing them with an opportunity to enjoy a unique experience. These musicians come from one of the world's oldest communities, the Jews of Persia. Their music is influenced by East and West alike.
I think it gives me depth, a sense of authenticity, something I can identify with. And I feel that in this way I'm really approaching my deepest roots. I believe that before you can grow tall and branch out, you have to deepen your roots.
We suggested that they too perform at the special concert planned for Jerusalem. Iraq, ancient Babylonia, was the cradle of culture. There, Jewish musicians preserved an ancient musical tradition, perhaps once part of the temple service, subsequently influenced and inspired by the music of the surrounding Arab culture.
The Jews were the musicians. They played at the homes of kings and princes. Throughout the world, the Jews were renowned for their musical talents.
Their basic instrument, the kanun, is one of the world's oldest, documented in illustrations that predate the Common Era. The music it produces consists of microtones. The Western ear finds difficulties in discerning the many nuances which cannot be captured by conventional notation. We also invited Victor Aida to perform in Jerusalem. Jews came to Kurdistan during a very early period of history. Some say they first arrived with the Babylonian exile that followed the destruction of the first temple. Others claim that they are descendants of the tribe of Benjamin, exiled at the end of the second temple period. Most lived in rural areas and earned their livelihoods by farming or tending flocks. On their arrival in Israel, many Kurdish Jews settled at agricultural villages, maintaining their lifestyle and folklore.
All Kurds dance. The Kurds are content with their lot in life. They don't mind if all they have is bread to eat and the shirt on their backs, and they work from morning till night. Even at work they sing, and at night they dance. On the Sabbath as well, they always dance on the Sabbath. If there's a celebration, a wedding, the entire village gathers at the home of the groom for 8 days. I know 22 dances. The dances are different from one another in various regions of Kurdistan.
Kurdish Jews have many different dances, perhaps because of their vast dispersion throughout Kurdistan and their resemblance to the local population. The dances are indeed numerous, but the differences among them are minor. The Kurds were the first Oriental Jews to come to the land of Israel from the east. Their arrival began in the early 19th century. The zurna and the dola, a large drum, always accompany the dances. When we suggested that they come to Jerusalem from their Beit Shean village and perform, they brought their wives and children along in a characteristic display of togetherness.
I cut 6 records in Georgia. I made a lot of cassettes, and I wrote a lot of songs.
Valery Kudukhty is a kind of troubadour, a Georgian wandering minstrel with a pandori typical of Caucasus residents. He too was invited to Jerusalem with a Georgian dance troupe.
I'm in the 3rd grade. My hobbies are dancing and playing music. That's all.
Dancing is highly typical of Georgians. Children begin to dance and study Georgian folklore from the age of 6. The Georgians are very warm. But they are also fierce warriors. They are a nation which has known many wars. The dances symbolize love as well as the wars that the people have experienced.
The Eliav family came to Israel from Bukhara in 1991 after the fall of communism in the Soviet Union. Their family has produced musicians for at least 5 generations. Everyone plays an instrument. Apparently, Bukharan Jews are of Persian origin, but as contact weakened between the communities, the Bukharans developed their own independent culture and characteristics.
There were once many Jews in Bukhara, but now they're leaving. They've all left because the situation is not so good there. We can't live without music. It's impossible. When there's a celebration, we have happy music. If there are hard times, God forbid, we have music for such things as well. When you're sad, you also listen to music. If you're happy, there's music too.
Bukhara was an important Muslim religious center, but the Jews enjoyed full autonomy. Their spirit of fraternity and togetherness persists to this day.
We work together. We live together.
Without Papa and Mama, you're not worth anything. A person alone is not a person at all. You can break him easily. Thank God we're all together, and we can only hope for continued good health and good spirits. We're happy that we came to Israel. We met many fine people here.
We play music and sing, the Eliav family.
ירושלים.
ቢሰማኝ በብርቱ ትዝታዬ ብዙ ቢሰማኝ በብርቱ እሹሩ አንጀቴ ልቤ ማለሰች እሹሩ አንጀቴ ልቤ ማለሰች ከትዝታ አስጥይኝ ከኔ ባላጋራ ከትዝታ አስጥይኝ ከኔ ባላጋራ ከቶ አይሆንልኝም ሙቀት ከሱ ጋራ ከቶ አይሆንልኝም ሙቀት ከሱ ጋራ
Memories. You remember a girlfriend who is no longer with you. She has gone away. You miss her and you sing for her. You need to sing Tizita for her. I miss my brother. He's in Ethiopia. He hasn't come here yet. I want him to come, to see Jerusalem, the state of Israel. People long to come to the land of Israel. They always dreamed of living in Israel, as the Torah says. Everyone wants to come to Israel.
Immigration from Ethiopia reached its peak in 1990 with the well-known Operation Solomon, in which thousands came to Israel in a whirlwind airlift. In many cases, it caused separation and much pain among families, as some children boarded the planes while others stayed behind. In neighborhoods inhabited by Yemenites, South Americans, Romanians, Russians, and other ethnic groups, each community embodies an entire world with its own culture and typical music. We invited them to perform in Jerusalem as well. It is only natural that Jerusalem, the focus of all our yearnings, was selected as the place for musicians to gather.
I was born in Jerusalem, but we left the city when I was about 3. And since then I am somehow associated with the Ramat Gan area, but we always come to Jerusalem.
Ehud Banai, the Sabra in the group, is a popular rock musician, a typical Israeli who has an open mind and a curious, sensitive nature.
I get excited every time I go to Jerusalem. This interests me because I'm a musician. Although I am somehow connected with a style called rock, I feel that this genre has largely exhausted itself. Here you suddenly discover new vistas, new music, different sounds, different instruments. It fascinates me as a musician.
They call it the songbird, the bulbul tarang. I've been playing it for years. That's a harmonium.
Harmonium? Let's have a look. So we've become accustomed to music and musicians from all over, but it's really very special. People come to one country from all over the world, all kinds of different ethnic groups, each with its own musical and cultural style that could disappear in another 50 years.
The performance was to take place in the evening, but the music began in the afternoon as the groups first assembled.
And perhaps within half a century, something will emerge that could be called Israeli music or Israeli culture. So far, this has not happened. And you can still hear authentic Indian and authentic Ethiopian music all in the same country, in our own country. I believe this is a great privilege for our generation that we are still able to hear these things.
Tuning instruments is the beginning of a musical adventure into unknown worlds. We chose the courtyard of the Tower of David as the most appropriate site for an experience of this type. Perhaps we had hoped that the spirit of King David would be an inspiration. After all, he played the harp. That may have looked like a krar. Musical dialogue developed gradually as they became acquainted with each other. Then it began to penetrate, to reach deeper, to enlighten forgotten worlds, to raise memories, a very specific kind of nostalgia.
My father is of Persian extraction, and my mother was born in Iran. It's me. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very much me. Somehow I seem to be familiar with it.
The ancient santur, the most common Persian instrument, is believed to be the ancestor of the harpsichord. In most cases, like in this one, the musician builds the santur with his own hands and excels in improvisation.
I was once at an Armenian shoemaker shop in the old city of Jerusalem, and he happened to have a balalaika there. I picked it up and played something like this. And he said to me, "You're Persian."
As night fell, all that separated the groups from one another and kept them apart slowly disappeared. They began to coalesce, forging a new music that expresses joy and hope. The hope that the differences among us can be bridged now that we have weathered the pangs of migration to the unknown. That night created a new opportunity, an old new direction that could transform our differences into a unique and innovative whole, yielding a richer and more authentic Israeli music.